Hello everyone. Welcome to my chatty, sassy channel here on YouTube where I talk about all things luxury, be it luxury fashion, luxury travel, or life's luxuries in general. And today I'm going to be going through all 17 of my 2025 luxury purchases and telling you guys how I think I did. Were they good purchases? Are they regrets? Did I do things well? Am I going to do things differently in 2026? Stick around to find out. So I will be honest, I'm taking a bit of inspiration from Dale, from Undone by Dale, and this is honestly what I was wearing when I worked from home today. I'm in a sweatshirt, I didn't do my hair, I just put on some lip gloss and some mascara and that's it. In fact, I'm still wearing my blue light glasses that I'm now seeing have some glare on them. So let me take those off really quick. But honestly, I wanted to do this video for you guys. I just couldn't be bothered to do my hair and makeup and put on a fashionable outfit. So it is what it is today. But I am excited to share these purchases with you guys and to talk through if I think that they were the right thing to purchase. And looking back even towards the beginning of the year of things that I had on my wish list that I didn't necessarily purchase. Were these good purchases? Were they bad purchases? Let's get into it. I'm going to go from best to worst for the year. And with that, the number one best purchase that I think that Blake and I made, and I'm counting purchases that Blake has made where he has given them to me, but the number one best purchase of the year has to be the Chanel mini reissue that he got me in the patent green leather for my birthday. So I love this bag. This spoiler to my next video where I talk about my most used items of 2025. This was my most used bag of 2025 and I only got it in May for my birthday. So that really says how much I used it. It really says what a great purchase it was. He also got it at an amazing price. It was like marked down and on sale. And so it was down to like $1,800 or something crazy like that. And so he got an amazing deal on this mini and I absolutely love it. And one of the things that I think is really interesting when I looked back at my wish list is that in the beginning of the year, I'd said that I wanted a bronze patent reissue from Chanel in either a small or a mini size because I thought that I would use that a lot in that material and in that color. And while the green is definitely not bronze, it is very similar and was definitely a most used purchase. So absolutely a great thing to have gotten. Now, number two, in my opinion, in my best purchases, comes from one of my Paris purchases, and that is my Goyard Belchase bag. I love this bag. I'm so glad that I got it. I have been wanting it since 2024. Couldn't decide on the color in 2024 in New York. Did decide on the color in 2025 in Paris in the green. I used that so much this fall while teaching. It is another bag that I'm definitely getting a lot of use out of, that I will continue to get a lot of use out of. Absolutely fantastic work bag, and it really added something different into my collection. So glad that I was able to get that off of my wish list. Now, item number three, again, it's going to be another bag. I feel like that I did really well with some of the bags that I got this year. One of the things that I discussed in my initial wish list video wanting was a brown colored Celine crossbody casual bag. The one that I'd had on my list was all leather. The one that I got was way better. I ended up getting a vintage Celine bag in a canvas. And the reason that I say that it's much better is because the leather, I would have been worried about leather spotting with. This one in the canvas, I didn't have any worries about that. So I did wear it in the rain. I did wear it in weather. Also, this one in the canvas, because it was vintage from the 90s Michael Kors era of Celine, it only cost me $450, including tax and shipping. From what goes around comes around. Absolutely great bag. Definitely getting my money's worth out of that bag. Now, item number four, and this is another Blake purchase. At the beginning of the year, I'd said that I didn't have anything on my wish list from YSL or from David Yurman, which shocked a lot of people because I typically buy a lot of YSL and a lot of David Yurman. But I didn't have anything that I specifically wanted on my wish list. He got me these for our anniversary, and they are the Petite Helena long earrings. I love these. I didn't have really any statement earrings in my collection because my ear holes are really elongated, so it can be hard for me to wear longer, heavier earrings. But these were so light that he really felt that these would work well for me. They definitely did. One of my best purchases by far, well, one of Blake's best purchases by far for 2025, because he surprised me with these and I absolutely love them. I've worn them a lot this year, and they definitely really add something different into my David Yurman collection, which if you haven't seen my David Yurman collection, I've done an updated video of that. I'll link it down below. It's quite extensive, so to add something different from David Yurman, it takes quite a lot. Now the next 3 items in my I am so happy, so glad that I got these list, and these are sort of like my top 7, the, in my opinion, absolute fantastic purchases that I got. The next 3 are all from Hermes. Item number 5 is going to be my Hermes shawl. I've worn this so many times already, and given that I had an Hermes 90 by 90 silk scarf that I really didn't wear and another Hermes shawl that I really don't wear, those 2 were not good purchases. The fact that I've worn this one a lot says what a great purchase it was. And I'd initially gone in to Paris wanting to get one that looked like my horse Riley. They didn't have that print, but they had this one, and the coloring just worked so well for me. I'm so thrilled that I got it. I got it from the flagship store, and so that was a really great purchase. Plus it was cheaper getting it in Paris. Item number 6, which I'd wanted a different color in initially, but I'm glad that I got the color that I did. And that is going to be my black Kelly belt that I got from the Sevres store in Paris. And I'd initially wanted navy earlier on in the year. I'm so glad that I got the black though, because being pregnant, the black has worked really, really well with dresses for me as my belly has expanded and I've needed a belt that can change to various sizes for me. So very practical purchase for me since I've been pregnant this year. And then item number 7 was a bit unexpected, and that's my Hermes hat that I got at the Nashville store opening. I love this hat. I've already worn this hat a couple of times. I just feel so cool with it. I'd initially been planning to get like a black beret from Dior in Paris. I'm so glad that I didn't go with one of the hats from Dior and that I waited and got this chocolate brown one, because I didn't have a chocolate brown hat in my collection. I didn't even really have a brown hat in my collection. And so I'm so glad that I waited and got this one, because this was the perfect hat for me. Now the next 4 items on this list, I'm putting in the category of these are great items. I'm really glad that I got them. They definitely weren't necessary. They aren't my most used, but I'm still really happy to have them. And first item in this group, item number 8 overall, is going to be my Tag watch. Now, I love my Cartier tank watch. I have had that for almost 5 years now. I am glad that I added in a second watch. It's allowed me to rotate. It's given me different options to wear based on how things look. Did I need a second watch? No. Am I glad that I have a second watch? Yes. This was also something that I got for myself with a very big career accomplishment that I had, and so it also has a lot of meaning that way as well for me. Now, item number 9 is my mini Lady Dior in what we call the Disco Lady Dior that I got from Meredith. And again, this is not something that was necessary for me to purchase, but she was willing to let it go, and so absolutely needed to have that bag, because that is a bag that I've loved for so long. And so I'm really, really glad that I got it. Because I got that bag though, I didn't get the navy small lady or that was on my list. I didn't get the Prada re-edition that was on my list in blue. I'm okay with that though, because this is such a special piece that it's not going to come up all the time, and I'm really, really glad to have it. And I have used it some this year. I've actually used it more than Meredith did the entire time that she'd had it, and so definitely a good purchase to have made. Now, number 10, I had talked about on my wish list that I wanted to have a piece from the Murakami collection. I only allowed myself to get one piece, and I'm so glad of that. And the piece that I got, it's actually right here, is my little cosmetic pouch, and this I have all of my travel technology, cords, chargers, AirPods, all those kind of things are in here. Was it necessary? No. Am I really glad that I have this, and do I think that this was the right one single piece to pick for me? Absolutely. I have no need to have any other Murakami, whether it be vintage or new. So glad to have added this into my collection as the single piece that I got. And then items 11 and 12 are, again, two things that aren't necessary, but I'm really glad that I got. And they are the guitar charm that I got from the Nashville store opening. This is one of only 100 that were made, and so I'm just really glad to have this special limited edition piece of Hermes from the store opening to have in my collection as an Hermes lover. Also, as a Nashville native, I'm one of the people who was actually born in Nashville, and I've lived my life here, and so to have that very special piece means a lot to me personally. And then also the washcloth that I picked up for my daughter. Was it unnecessary? Absolutely. Am I glad to have gotten just this tiny little piece of luxury under $100 for her from Hermes? Absolutely. Now, item number 13 is really just sort of a group of items because I got them all at one time, and these are items that, while I haven't necessarily used them that much this year, in large part because of being pregnant, I think that they were such a good price and such a good deal, and they are things that I am going to wear that and I actually did wear all of them, just I haven't worn them as much as I had hoped to this year. I think that they were absolutely worth me getting, and that's why they're sort of here in the middle of the list. And that is my haul from the luxury label in Nashville, where I got a Celine sweater, a Ralph Lauren set where it was like this white denim and leather set from like actual like Ralph Lauren, and then I got a couple of Oscar de la Renta pieces. One was a green dress and sweater set, and then the other was a light blue dress. All of those fantastic purchases. Total was under $1,000 for all of those. I don't even remember how much it was, but absolutely fantastic price for those. So happy to have gotten them and to have them in my wardrobe, even though they didn't get the use that I'd hoped for this year. Now, the next two items I've grouped into, they weren't bad purchases, but they definitely haven't necessarily scratched the itch. I'm still wanting to add some other things in. And the first of those is the Dior slingbacks that I got in Paris. I'm really glad to have gotten these shoes. They are very beautiful. They're very comfortable. I wore them quite a bit this fall, but I got them as a slingback that was an 85 millimeter, thinking like, well, this will probably scratch the itch for the Christian Louboutin patent ones that are no longer available. Hasn't scratched that itch. I still want to get a pair of Christian Louboutin patent slingbacks that aren't available. So I am going to go into the Nashville store in the new year and see if maybe I can get the style that I want that is now a discontinued style, custom made. And if I can, great. If I can't, I'm going to look at, like, for instance, the Miss Z and maybe see if I can get a pair of those pumps. And then the second item in this, which is item number 15 overall, again, it's another purchase that I'm glad that I got. It is my Hermes Lullaby sandals. I really like these. I'm going to wear these a lot. These are replacing my Stuart Weitzmans that just haven't held up as well as I'd hoped that they would, that I got in 2024. And so I'm really glad to have these for next summer. I haven't gotten to wear them yet because I got them mid-October and it's been fall weather, so I haven't been able to wear sandals, but definitely glad to have these. That being said, I'd said at the beginning of the year that I really wanted a pair of Hermes gold flat boots. Didn't get those. Instead, I got these sandals because the boots I just wasn't overly thrilled with. And then I'd also said that I want a pair of Etupe sandals from Hermes and didn't get those because they didn't really fit me well. And so the shoes that I'd wanted didn't work for me. So I'm glad that I didn't get those. But at the same time, getting these brown sandals, it's just made me want the other two still as well, even though they don't work and I need to find a different alternative. And then finally, for items 16 and 17 on the list, these are things that, like, if I have regrets purchasing, these might be what they are, but honestly, at the price point that they were, I don't regret them. they were just definitely the things that were not my best purchases of the year. So I guess they go into the worst purchases category. And they are actually both from Strathberry. The first one, so number 16, is the Strathberry straw bucket bag that I got. I like this bag. It sits out with me at the pool more just so that I can say that I've used it than it actually being useful, because honestly, like, I'm just walking outside. Like, I don't really actually need a bag with my stuff in it at the pool. I can easily just set it on the table beside of me. And then the worst purchase of the year is one thing that I have sold, and I got it at the same time from the sample sale that I did when I got the basket bag, because the basket bag was also from the sample sale. And that was my Strathberry Silver Mini Tote. The bag style just didn't work for me, and I knew that I was going out on a limb buying it because I didn't know if I'd like the bag style or not. But fortunately, because it was from the sample sale, I got it at a great price that I was able to let go to a subscriber for what I paid for it, plus shipping to her, and she absolutely loves the bag. And so again, I don't say that it's a regret because I didn't lose any money on it. It just was a worst purchase because I immediately sold it on to somebody else because it just didn't work for me. And so those were all of my purchases from the year. I do want to just speak for a quick minute about some of the things that I didn't end up getting that were on my wish list. There were 3 pairs of shoes that I had also mentioned that I haven't talked about yet, which were a pair of nude heels. Really don't need those. I'm fine that I didn't get them. A pair of crazy CC shoes that I was on the lookout for if I found pre-loved. Glad that I didn't get those. I don't need those. The one thing that I do need to add to my collection though is a pair of nude ballet flats. Those were on my list in a patent leather, just haven't found the right one yet. When it comes to bags, I am still wanting the blue Prada re-edition bag. I am glad that I didn't get the navy small Lady Dior because I've decided that I want a different navy bag, and I probably actually want 2. One that'll be for an evening use, one that'll be for a daily use. And then I'm also glad that I didn't get a Fendi fur chain baguette because I think that going with a suede bag in a different shape and silhouette from what I have is going to be a better choice for me. So I've got a couple of options that I'm looking at there. When it comes to clothes, there were a couple of pre-loved pieces that I was looking at. A brown Fendi skirt and then a LV top, both of which I'm glad that I didn't get. I wouldn't have worn either of those. I'm not going to wear either of those, so definitely glad that I didn't get those. And the last 3 items, 2 of them I'm glad that I didn't get. The Goyard passport holder, I have my Mulberry one. That one's just fine. I don't need a Goyard one. Some tortoiseshell sunnies, didn't really find anything that I liked, so I'm perfectly fine not having gotten those this year. And then the Hermes tray that I was really wanting in the Cheval d'Orient print. I do still want that. I missed out on an amazing deal on one pre-loved earlier this year that still haunts me a little bit. Wish that I'd gotten that, but I'm on the hunt for one for this year because I have a space specifically where I want to put that. So with that, that is everything that I looked at purchasing, everything that I did purchase, and how I think I did, with a little bit of a preview of some of my most worn pieces with my most worn bag. That video is coming up next week. And then also teeny tiny little preview of what is going to be on my wish list come 2026. That video will be up the first Saturday of the year. So that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of my purchases. Did I make good purchases this year? Did I make bad purchases? What about you guys? What were some of your best and worst purchases of the year? And with that, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the holiday season, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!